Alright, let's see. What the hell's wrong with this friggin' program? You friggin' kidding me? All this bullshit. This is not the way we writ this. God! Ladies and gentlemen, I am the Simple Man Noah Foster, founder and creator of 205 Life Matters, and Skype was a piece of shit. So enjoy this glitchy edition of 205 Life Matters. Can you crack the code? Can you understand what we're saying? Mostly my co-host, The Holiday, Mr. Christopher Mace. But I hope you enjoy this show, and as always, 205 Life Matters. Thank you for tuning in. Have a wonderful day. Damn it all! Good evening, everybody. Now, I'm just a simple man, and my name is Noah Foster, and welcome once again to another edition of 205 Live Matters. This will officially be called the WWE 2K20 edition, if you sense glitching, because not only has that game sucked, but Skype's also been a pain in the ass as well as internet, to the point that I almost had to bring out my alternative personality because I've been freaking pissed off. But I digress. And with that being said, before we get into this week's episode of 205 Live, what happened on NXT, what we expect to come next, and the next to our list, allow me, of course, to introduce you to my co-host. We are the Simple Holiday, because he is a family man. He is a huge amount of knowledge on wrestling then, now, and forever. He's one of my best friends, and I appreciate him and his family. It's, of course, my good friend here, and I always wish him the best in Florida, because it's like, oh, tropical storm, you need to evacuate. Freaking Mother Nature, make up your damn mind. Anyway, it's of course my friend, The Holiday, Mr. Christopher Mace, host also of The Holiday Break. Great videos to get you through lunch, or on the bus, or wherever. Chris, how are you?
Oh, for wrestling instead of having to do predictions or control. How do you ever say it? I can't remember. Control C, Control V. Fun stuff. So, like I said, if you watch that video, you're going to have a parody show, because I couldn't do it.
I mean, yeah, everything's just being stupid, it seems, anymore. Skype, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Internet, WWE 2K. Oh, that's a whole nother story. And my emotions in check for money. Oh, great, now I got hiccups. Now I'm a glitch. Yes, I am a glitch. I am a robot. I am Mr. Anderson. I'm the Matrix. Anyway, go eat the red pill, the blue pill. All right, we're getting way off topic. All right, well, I'm glad to hear you're doing okay. So with that, let's go ahead and talk about Cruiserweight Wrestling. Again, people, I apologize for technical difficulties. We're doing our best. Hopefully things will clear up as we continue the show. So, this week marked 205 Live, NXT 205 Live. I'm just calling it that from now on because now they're fully merged underneath the NXT banner. I love that. And it emanated from Kansas City, October 25th, 2019. Again, they do not do numbers anymore. That pisses me off because I don't remember what number this is. But anyway, I thought it was a really good show, and we, of course, kick off with recaps. So you learn, why does this exist? What can I expect tonight? Who's Lio Rush? Why is he the champ? It first recaps last week's main event, triple threat main event, that was stellar, where Tony Nese finally gained some momentum, beating both Arya Daivari and Oney Lorcan in a stellar triple threat main event. And then Nese talking about, congrats, Leo, but I'm coming back to take what is mine. Then we go all the way back even further, where on NXT, not even that further, 2 days ago, where Garza Jr. is basically getting some momentum, and he's been jabbing words and subtleties against the current NXT Cruiserweight Champion, Lio Rush. Angel Garza, of course, one of the most charismatic newcomers, of course, to NXT /205 Live, staking his claim. Yeah, the frame rate's actually falling together. And then following that, we, of course, get Lio Rush, who's coming into the brand. After a shorter version of the 205 Live intro, showcasing the veterans of the 205 Live roster, as well as those faces to come. I like it. Things to come. I'm sure it's going to increase over time, just like NXT UK's have, and NXT as well. Anyway, so we kick off, of course, with Lio Rush coming in to, of course, his theme, and he's got the belt with him, because, again, Lio Rush is not only the man of the hour, he's the champ of the hour. Literally. And he comes in, and we get a rematch from NXT a few weeks ago, I believe in one of its early episodes on the inauguration of NXT on USA, back when they did the 1 hour, 1 hour thing. And they even recapped this because his opponent was, of course, the brawler himself, Oney Lorcan. Commentary putting over our commentary, of course, was Aiden English and Tom Phillips. They only have a two-person booth. It's okay. And Leo, basically, they say Leo has, turned things around for him. He's now more respected across the locker room. He loves what he's doing. He's in a better state, better place of mind. And he's also now the champ that represents not only one brand, but two. Because not only does he represent 205 Live, he's representing NXT. Hence the NXT Cruiserweight Champion. Both brands matter. And fuck you haters that believe it doesn't. Excuse me. Where'd that come from? Anyway. This was a fun opening match, I thought. I like how they recapped their first encounter. Because basically this was only looking versus Leo Rush 2. And the strategy was very different here. Because I thought it was going to be a hot 30 opener. It was not. Chris, take me through your thoughts, as long as your phone will allow you to, properly. Take me through your thoughts on this opening match. Leo Rush versus Oney Lorcan. Basically, Oney versus Leo 2.
To me, it wasn't as good as the first one I did on it. They pretty much had a standard match, or pretty much just it's like it just felt like to me they were just going through the flow of the motion of the match. It wasn't like NXT where they did that first match and you could just see that fire and passion and everything like that. And that Leo Rush, I was like, man, that Leo Rush guy, he is going to that cruiserweight title. He performed going to beat Gulak and win that cruiserweight title, and that's what he did. Yeah. This match just felt like they were just going through the flow of the motion, like, okay, let's go, do, and then he wins with the final hour, and it just, I don't know. It was a good match. Don't take me wrong, it was a good match. I enjoyed it, but just didn't feel like it had that fire and passion you like that too. That's the only critique, and it didn't have as much time that they did on NXT, and that's, I think, maybe a difference, is they had a little more time to do stuff and build up a story. Here, I just think they were just like in the flow of the motion and just went with the match. I was glad Leo Rush won, and I like the aftermatch was what happened, but I'll let you go to that part, and we'll talk about that part of this.
Yeah, I'll let you take that, because that was a good segue, because it did fall on events last week. But to go along with the thoughts you were saying, I completely agree, because this was, again, pushed TV time, because, again, even though it's on the network, it's after SmackDown, which was bullshit, goes off the air, because it was all about culture. Anyway, I digress. Not bad stuff here. Decent stuff. Good stuff. Not good shit. Just good stuff. Good shit is not... Okay, I'm going off the deep end here. I told you this was going to be a different edition, people. Anyway, yeah, I thought this was a nice, subtle feel-out match, because Oney Lorcan changed his strategy and tried to play more of a slower, methodical style. They first test each other out in a test of strength, and then Leo Rush, he gained some momentum. While Leo Rush doesn't have the strength advantage, he certainly has the speed advantage. As we got cartwheel, turnaround, arm drag, Leo Rush being evasive, pulls off a wicked enziguri. He is so damn fast, my word! And then eventually we get a over-knee flip after Oney capitalized on that, because he just basically takes a leg up, whoop, lands on his feet. Brilliant. But then Oney Lorcan takes control, slows down the pace here into a scissors lock. Leo Rush trying to fight out of it, trying to roll through it. Eventually he does. Pins Oney Lorcan, showing the mat, not enough. Then we get I guess you could say, a little bit of a fury from Leo Rush himself with a handstand kick, suicide dive into the table, driving Oney Lorcan head first into it. Ouch. And then following that, he goes for his final hour split leg splash, only for that to be countered by Oney, who drops him with a running blockbuster, gets a nice near fall. Oney, though, he starts channeling the sun, bringing it down, just going, and basically he goes for his finisher, half and half. That gets immediately countered to Hurricane Rana type counter off of what looked like was going to be a powerbomb by Oney Lorcan. Again, Oney showing the strength, Leo showing the evasiveness. And it showed again here as he was about to be powerbombed. Leo, he puts it into a freaking DDT. Dropped him hard on his head, which of course led to another Rana and handspring back elbow. Very nice move by Leo Rush, similar to what Humberto Carrillo used to do, which of course led to him pulling off the comeback, which is, I thought it was middle rope. Maybe he just does it depending on time or position. He did off the bottom rope, the springboard stunner, called the comeback. Thank you, by the way, James Hubert, for telling me that. And then following that, he hits his move, the final hour, the split leg extended splash for the win. 1, 2, 3. Once again, it seemed like Leo Rush, he's back better than ever. Only Lorcan, still figuring out his place. Good match. But it was definitely shorter. It felt a little bit less enthusiastic on both parties' parts. And maybe that's just because it was the opener 205 Live, even though they said only he's fully refreshed, ready to go. And Lio Rush, he's also now the champion, so he actually might be a little more comfortable because last time these two faced each other, it was for a number one contendership. Both were on the hunt. Now one's out to prove a point, and the other, I guess they both are out to prove a point, but one no longer needs to hunt. He's the guy. He's the champ of the hour. But I thought it was a nice opening match. Anyway, following that, though, Tony Nese comes out, and he welcomes him back to 205 Live, and he's glad that he's the champion, and you just had a great opening match. You beat Oney Lorcan. But I beat Oney Lorcan and Ariya Daivari. So why don't you go over there, get out of the ring, sit at commentary, and I will show you what a premier athlete truly is and what a champion looks like. And Leo's like, oh, okay. Impress me. How about you impress me? Lio Rush showing some subtleties, of course, to Tony Nese. And he puts that over on commentary, too, during this next match, which was Raul Mendoza's singles 205 Live debut. Because he's only been on one other match on 205 Live, and that was in a tag bout with Humberto Carrillo, where he and Humberto won against Lucha House Party. One of my favorite tag matches from 205 Live. Yes, Lucha Libre explosion. But anyway, tell me through your thoughts on Tony Nese versus Raul Mendoza and the subtleties being told on commentary by Lio Rush.
First off, on the commentary, I like Lio Rush. Just like I said, that man is a great talker. Like I said, he's a great wrestler, but he's also a great talker. You see what he did with Bobby Lashley. I hate to remind people of that, but he's great.
Lashley.
But he must be a great talker on commentary. He could easily be a commentator. If he ever wanted his career, which hopefully he could be a great commentator.
Yeah.
On wrestling. Anyway, the match itself, I think, pretty much was one of those story of Tony Nese for Lio Rush, trying to show off for Lio Rush. And about this storytelling here. Everybody thought about that storytelling. That's what it did here because of the fact that during this match, Tony Nese was more worried about Lio Rush. See, I beat Lorcan, I beat Daivari. I'm the premier athlete. What happens when you get distracted? What happens? You got caught. 1, 2, 3. You didn't win your match. Oh, man, you didn't win. Now what? Lio Rush is pretty much thinking you're a joke right now, laughing about it. That was, like I said, the main storytelling. The match itself, I thought, was pretty good, but it had a story behind it. Besides the match, it had the story of, he's more focused on Lio Rush. He wants that Cruiserweight title back. That's been his sole focus. I want that title back. He went back with Gulak, trying to learn stuff from Gulak. Now, Gulak's on SmackDown now.
Yes.
So you need Von Drama. Very well done how they're trying to set this up. I still feel like they're setting up next is Lio Rush versus Tony Nese for the Cruiserweight Championship. That's what I think they're going with the storytelling wise.
Okay. So, yeah, there was basically a tale of 2, maybe even 3 matches here. You have Tony Nese versus Raul Mendoza being the main attraction, and then you got this idea of potentially Tony Nese versus Lio Rush for the NXT Cruiserweight title, and then you had the potential idea of Angel Garza versus Lio Rush for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. I just said title, belt, and championship all in one segment. Good grief. I'm not banned. Yeah. Screw you, Vince. Anyway, yeah, I thought this was a good match. Let me talk about a little bit of the match first off. So Nese versus Garza, they have a nice exchange, slow start first up. There was a Rana, and then Raul Mendoza, he goes up and over. And then following this, Tony Nese, he basically takes control with a wicked running elbow shot. And then subtleties, there was a chin lock. This was our first point of the match where things start slowing down, so they start telling us a little bit of a story from NXT. Because Angel Garza is no stranger to Twitter. Go figure. He basically sends a tweet out, a little bit of Photoshop, so he's like, soon, I see you there, but soon purple is going to be my new favorite color. And he's got the NXT Cruiserweight Championship photocopied around his waist with white pants. Very subtle. Lio Rush was not very enthusiastic about this. he basically says at this point, why is he tweeting? I could care less if he's tweeting. I'm here. I'm actually here trying to see who can impress me. I'm only watching. I don't need, he should be here, not watching, not tweeting. He also has some studies against Tony Nese saying about, okay, he did win that match, but he barely did it. He barely beat Oney Lorcan and Ariya Daivari. I am the champ of the hour. He's not, okay? And I want people to impress me. I want him to impress me because I want to face the best. I want to see the best of Tony, not the cheater Tony who looks like he has spray on ass, apparently like SpongeBob. I don't ever remember SpongeBob SquarePants having spray on abs. Kids, can you help me here? Because I don't watch SpongeBob. I haven't watched it in years.
I have three kids, so yes, SpongeBob did have square abs.
I think this is the first time ever SpongeBob SquarePants was referenced, the character I mean, not the show. SpongeBob SquarePants was ever referenced in WWE because I remember somebody being called Patrick, but anyway, that's the past. And then he also talked about, look at Tony Nese. He's tired. You see that? He's exhausted. Not enough cardio, huh, man? And you're a premier athlete. Go in there and impress me. Prove a point. Going on from there, they continue from here. Both men exchange. We get roll through, spring around kick. That was very impressive by Tony Nese. Then we get exchanges by both with knees and chops. And then we get just fists, hangs, and then for some reason, Tony Nese, he actually impresses Lio Rush at this point because he drapes Raul Mendoza across the top rope, but then he flexes and immediately he's like, see, that's what I'm talking about. He should be focused on his opponent, not just focused on admiring how beefy his fake spray-on abs are. And basically, he proves a point because after Tony Nese flexes, he goes for, of course, a traditional springboard moonsault, crash and burns. Then following that, we get a springboard drop kick, nice subtle attempt, and then we get a suplex attempt by Raul Mendoza. Unfortunately, Tony Nese, he double stomps him. That was the closest near fall to the match. And then Garza, of course, is like, okay, you have some subtleties here, but how about you come over here and I show you what I can do. And again, Lio Rush is not worried about that. He's focused on what he sees now. He wants people to impress him. He wants the best that he could possibly get. But he's focused on the match. Because I'm a businessman, okay? That's what Lio Rush said. And then basically from there, we got our final spot after Tony Nese finally takes care of Raul Mendoza and goes Frosberry flop. What a weird name for a move. Over the top rope. And then as he brings Raul Mendoza in the ring, Lio Rush's like, hey, Tony, how about you focus on your opponent and win this match, huh? Don't worry about me. You're not the champ. I'm the champ. And then the most powerful move in wrestling, the dreaded fruit roll-up, Raul Mendoza wins. 1, 2, 3. I was like, oh, well, this is a pleasant surprise. And Tony Nese, so much for momentum. So not only is Raul Mendoza now 1 on 205 Live, but you also got this idea of Angel Garza gunning after Lio Rush. And who knows who else? Right there, you got a one-on-one match. Raul Mendoza, Angel Garza. They both have stated their claim now to the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. Tony Nese might be on the outside looking in now. May want to once again figure out who he is or bandwagon off somebody else. A subtle middle match that told the tale of what may become a triple threat number one contenders match, or Tony Nese going rogue, attacking Lio Rush maybe next week on NXT because you cost me the match. I'm the premier athlete. I should be champion. And Lio Rush, great at his gift of talking, great as champion. Things to be back on the up and up for him. And I thought this was a nice little play to the show. We'll see what happens next week as far as Tony Nese, Raul Mendoza, and Lio Rush goes.
Or I could see a possibility for Russian later on Angel Garza, and then Tony Nese in NXT. Tony Nese goes and interferes, calls a DQ, and then Tony Nese gets a match with Lio Rush, and then Angel Garza interferes, match costing him a triple threat that way. They could go that route too. That'd be kind of interesting. It would be a little different with that. With Tony Nese hasn't been on NXT, or if he has, it's been a while since he's been on NXT.
You're right. It's been a while.
I know he had to have been on NXT at some point. That's where we need Gary and Stephen to answer that question, because I can't remember last time Tony Nese was on NXT.
I think it was a match against Johnny Gargano, actually. That was a while back. I think it was actually the match that reminded me was Johnny freaking Rest.
Mm-hmm.
But I digress. Again, folks, sorry for the technical difficulties, but you know what? Skype's a bitch. Deal with it. Anyway, okay, so what?
WWE's new game too. It says WWE's new game too. What a glitch fest that is.
Oh yeah, where Rey Mysterio's face is deformed and we actually can see under his mask, and Becky Lynch is wearing steampunk horns on her head, and my God, they fucked up that game. I'm so glad to spend that money. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to our next segment, which was oh good lord. Can we fucking retire the 24/7 title? Don't you bring that piece of shit on the 205 Live or NXT. May they lose it immediately. May R-Truth go to the Bahamas or the Caribbean, hunt caribou, because I bet that'd be somebody would say, and retire with the 24/7 title in a volcano. But I digress. God. Anyway, Singh Brothers are like, hey, buddy, with your help, we are not only the #1 Bollywood draft picks, but we captured the 24/7 title. And why we are not in our Bollywood studios, we have to keep our location a mystery because we are the 24/7 champion. Bale. Okay, fuck that. Do you have anything else to say on that before I move on?
Why did they bring that atrocious title on the 205 Live is beyond me. Unless they're going to do a segment like you just said, where they're traveling to Bahamas looking for a volcano, and they're doing a little promo here. I found a volcano. What shall we do with this title? And they celebrate because finally that piece of fucking shit's gone. Yes.
Yes, it's like Lord of the Rings. It can only be destroyed in the very fires it was created from, or Mother Nature provides. You want to kill a 20% title? Drop it in a fucking volcano. Anyway, I digress. Now, this was interesting because I've had mixed reviews about this entire segment. I'm not talking about the Bollywood thing because, first off, Tom Phillips, are you trying to say to me you want to sleep with the Bollywood brothers? Go to that locker room like Aiden English says, okay? You love them so much. You figure them so high. Go to that locker room. The Brian Kendrick comes out and tries to illustrate the idea of why I am a professional wrestler, what makes me a professional wrestler, and why there's nothing here but wrestlers and consumers. This went on like a random rant. Not even a pipe bomb, but a random rant. You want to make it a pipe bomb, give me the comparison between wrestler and entertainer. Oops, I said a wrong word. Anyway, the Brian Kendrick. A lesson on professional wrestling and wrestlers. Chris, what was your thoughts on the Brian Kendrick's promo?
I think he was telling the truth. I think he was speaking from the heart. I think he was speaking from out of frustration. I think they told him to go out there, do something different. Because how often, listen, except for the old timers that are there that say professional wrestlers, how many people have you heard ever say that word in the last few years? Not really that many, because they're one of these Keith the Truth about a lot of stuff. He's talking about the old school mentality, pro wrestlers. You know, the young guys went up to the veterans and were respectful to veterans and everything like that. He was talking from the heart. This was probably one of the realest promos I've heard in a while from somebody on this brand, and that was interesting. I don't know where it's going with this, but it is very interesting, and it's really sad to say. I can tell when I watch this with my age, because I'm thinking you were to think back, like, oh my God, I was that young when you were spanking on Dodie. Oh Lord, boy, I'm getting old. That's when I start thinking about it when he's the veteran. I'm like, you're the veteran? Hold on, and I'm thinking like, oh my God, I'm getting older because dang I've been watching you for a while now. That's for sure.
Okay, interesting analysis. Let me see if I can go through some of the tidbits here. By the way, I counted how many times he said wrestler / wrestling. I counted at least 13 times. He did not hold back. Even at the point the crowd was saying, shut up, shut up, shut up. And he even included the crowd. So let me see if I can give some subtle points about this Brian Kendrick promo. And by the way, best thing that could have happened at first, he took the friggin' headset off Tom Phillips' head. Thank you. I miss Vic Joseph so much. Anyway, there was a time when you earned the right to be called a professional wrestler. It wasn't just about you getting a contract. You told you were a professional wrestler. Nobody just simply threw their backs in the locker room. There used to be a ritual or protocol to professional wrestling. To call yourself from wrestler to professional wrestler. To be a professional wrestler, you would shake hands, make eye contact, introduce yourself to the veterans in the locker rooms, and ask them to watch and critique your match to help you become not a wrestler, but a professional wrestler. You guys are not wrestlers, you are consumers. What happened to people asking the veterans to watch and critique their matches? Because damn near nobody certainly can be calling themselves in that locker room a professional wrestler. Instead of learning, these wrestlers rather go and look up their names on social media. They are selfish, egotistical, and worst of all, shut up, shut up, shut up. You need to understand to break out from a wrestler to be a professional wrestler. That's what makes me a professional wrestler and not a wrestler. You know who's the worst offender of calling themselves a professional wrestler or somebody that's similar to professional wrestling? And I probably already said one 13 times. Sue me. Drake Maverick is the worst because all he's out doing is chasing the 24/7 title just so he can gain the respect to get some. But Drake, I'll be here next week waiting for an answer because I am a professional wrestler and you owe me that. I'm the man with a plan. What the hell was that? Wow. And then Tom Phillips was even confused the guy's headset on, but in English, he kind of goes along with you on that. He kind of agrees because he's been in that locker room. Obviously, it's like a disease. Brian Kendrick must be the cure. When it comes to wrestler and professional wrestler, it seems like the lines are blurred anymore, and there's no real respect for the veterans. Of course, we're not talking about sports entertainers, so Hulk Hogan and they don't count. Anyway, we're talking about professional wrestlers, not wrestlers. And I know we're going to get a lot of jab at that, but I want to shout out the comments right now to give me a rant on wrestlers versus entertainers. Because all the fuck that WWE cares about is entertainment. And it gets old pretty damn fast. Unless you like the same entertainment from the same wrestlers rather than a professional wrestler giving you professional wrestling. Yep, I went there. Now you know what I am. Go ahead, throw the words for the slander. I don't give a shit. Wrestlers are not professional wrestlers. Professional wrestling is only done by professional wrestlers. That's basically what the sum of this was. So with that being said, I'm very curious what happens next week. What I hope doesn't happen is I hope that people are wrong in saying all this is a rehash of Mike Kanellis' storyline where he said, Drake Maverick has not given me the respect or the opportunities I deserve, and then we get Drake Maverick versus Brian Kendrick. Please no. Because Brian Kendrick has been on there since day one and has not had a Cruiserweight Championship match since losing his title on episode 1. So he honestly has a lot of real claim to his argument. Now, whether or not it just goes about being a professional wrestler or just wrestling, winning, and proving a point, I don't know. And ironically, Mike Kanellis was nowhere to be found here either. So who knows what the future is for Brian Kendrick and his state of professional wrestling on professional wrestlers. But I digress. Whoa, that was quite a segment. Good grief. I gotta go rewatch that and really think about what he said again too, because I think I talked about and elaborated the point of what he was saying about wrestling versus professional wrestling and a professional wrestler. I still feel like there's something else to take away from this. This was actually the thing on the show that I really thought about the most, almost like a Socrates type argument for my Assassin's Creed Odyssey game. That doesn't glitch, by the way, but I digress. Anyway, Oh, let me say it one more time. Professional wrestling. Ding. Someone has a counter. Someone count how many times I said wrestler, professional wrestler in the comments, please. Anyway, so then we go. I had to get. You know how I am about wrestling, professional wrestling. It's like I did a podcast. Yeah, I'm going to go off topic with somebody and like, okay, women, they're just like showpieces. And then we had a woman on the podcast talking about she doesn't look at it like that. She looks at professional wrestling. And I basically ended this argument with this. Okay, you think we're all men here? We're just looking at women for appeal? If I want to see that much silicone, I'll go down a Barbie aisle at a Toys R Us. I look at women in wrestling for fucking wrestling. But I digress. Anyway, so Mandy Rose, go do your inflated boobs somewhere else. And Charlotte, quit doing plastic surgery. You don't need it. You're going to kill your legs on a moonsault. Yep, I went there. Can you tell my mood tonight, gentlemen and ladies? Anyway, let's go into our main event. So Daivari talks about on Twitter, he could care less about these new faces coming in. I got to stay on point somewhat. He could care less about these new faces coming in. He's still here, and he'll be ready to fight anyone. So who comes in and accepts this pretty much open invitation, it seems, to 205 Live to challenge Ariya Daivari? Isaiah Swerve Scott. He says, okay, I'm happy to accept that invite and turn Kansas City into hashtag Swerve's house. And then we got this recap of Swerve basically going from NXT 2 days ago, making a statement again, tagging with Breezango. Shout out to Top Gun, pretty awesome movie. I'm going to say right now, I bet you the next one they do, Baywatch. Anyway, they also mentioned how he had great momentum winning that six-man tag for his team. Not to mention, he's been in the ring with Roderick Strong. They even recapped that. Not video, but they talked about that because he has faced him one-on-one in a very impressive bout. And then, of course, we get Swerve coming in here with the new theme, but old Titantron. Kind of weird to me, but whatever. And then he has like the John Morrison type subtle, slow entrance where I don't get the whole fist thing, but whatever. Takes the glasses off and just takes it all in. And being here while wrestling, you just see the wind slowly flowing through his hair. I don't know what the subtlety was with that, or he just tried to pull up like, I'm this confident, I'm this smooth, I'm just this cool and relaxed. I got all this. Definitely got swag, that's for sure. Anyway, Ariya Daivari then comes out, of course, one of the only real heels left, I feel like, in 205 Live, maybe in most WWE. And these two, I thought, have a pretty darn good main event. Wasn't like your top tier type main event, but it was a nice welcome back to Swerve. And again, Ariya Daivari, he gets the main event of 205 Live. Now, I think I ran enough about professional wrestling and wrestlers. Whoops, said again. But, Chris, tell me for your thoughts on Swerve match against Ariya Daivari.
Daivari is probably one of the best heels that right now. It's still like that old school heel that you like. That what I mean by what I say is you want to do you get you to give him that reaction of what he's doing. He's going around. He gets shades of ball, whatever you want to call it, crap, where it's like, yeah, that guy did something horrible. That guy did. Swerve, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to say it. He's a future world champion in about 3 or 4 years. That man is fucking money. He is unbelievably talented. He is money. He should easily be a world champion within 3 or 4 years. Easily in that country. That man is incredible. I have been so freaking to a few weeks back. I've been impressed with him. Every match I've seen him in, I've been impressed with him. That man just seems to impress me and amaze me even more. Like I said, I thought this was really good match to me.
All right. I heard most of that, so I hope the Ions did too. I mean, again, folks, Skype, it glitches, but what are you going to do? Anyway, yeah, and I got to agree, Shane Strickland, Killshot, Isaiah Swerve, Scott, whatever you want to call him, incredible athlete, due to be a champion, no doubt. So this match kicks off, of course, literally with kick to the midsection and then Swerve combination. He shows confidence, charisma, and swagger in his move and appeals. He goes over the top rope, and then he goes over Arya Daivari, who's like, that was great psychology. Turns around, kicks him to the side. Ouch. And he's like, did not do that. Like Steve Urkel from Family Matters almost. And then Arya Daivari, he eventually takes control, goes on a rampage. They talk about this major chip Arya Daivari might have on his shoulder because the man has yet to really claim the title himself. And he had a strong start earlier this year, like Tony Nese, but it seems like for Nese and him, it's been falling apart. Anyway, he takes control of this. He drops Swerve, I think, middle turnbuckle first, and then overhead, belly-to-belly combination. Then we get a corkscrew rope splash from Swerve, and then an uppercut to the back of the neck that was wicked. Both men jogging for position, fighting each other. We get a suplex into a beautiful rope through flatliner by Swerve, and near fall down. Wicked Uranagi plants Swerve in the ring. Arya Daivari does. And he says, this is my house. This isn't Paige, but he says, this is my house. Then we get exchanges of chops and kicks by both. And then a rolling elbow strike by Arya Daivari. Bringing the strong style in this match. Fighting it fair. And then Swerve, he tries to get some momentum back, only to run into a super kick that literally makes him look upward to the ceiling. And then Arya Daivari goes for his finisher, of course, Hammerlock Lariat, that was countered. Swerve rolls through. Arya Daivari rolls through. But he looks on, and what does Swerve do? Bang! Literally, as they said, kicks the daylights out of his head, pins him 1, 2, 3. I believe they call that Swerve's house, ironically, because that move made it Swerve's house. And Daivari looks on, annoyed and in disgust, per se. A great main event, not like run-of-the-mill top main event, but again, Swerve makes the case for himself and has a great win on 205 Live. All right, Daivari still trying to figure himself out. Good luck, brother. And with that being said, that ended this edition of 205 Live, so let's go ahead and grade it as always. With NXT's 205 Live now in week 2, and we see Swerve more involved, and now we got Raul Mendoza. They're bringing the NXT faces now more momentum than veterans of 205 Live. You better step up or get out. I thought this was a pretty good show, though. There was some good story building. Nothing like top-of-the-mill major that I'd be like, applause, need to watch again. But I enjoyed it. 3-match formula was subtle. 20% title drops it half a letter grade or star grade for me. Pretty darn good show, though. I'm going to give it 3 3/4. Chris, what about you? What would you grade this week's 205 Live?
I'm going to give it the same thing, 3 3/4. I didn't want to see the 24/7 title on there. Like I said, but I think the highlights, like I said, the storytelling, we don't know what's going to happen here in the next few weeks with who's going to challenge for the Cruiserweight Championship. I like not being sure who exactly is going to be the next challenger, where they have so many options where they can go with that. Swerve, like I said, is always impressive. Daivari's been, like I said, the best heel on that show in a while, not one of the 3 heels in the whole company. Like I said, they had a really good match. I know they're PG. I wish they would have just called Swerve that kick Swerve does. I wish they'd just call it a kill shot. Just, I was like that. Because the way that looks like in real life, it would knock you out if he did that. That's how believable that finish is. So, like I said, I take 3 3/4 is fair. Like I said, it was good, but it wasn't that over the top that would make me want to go higher than what it is.
Yeah, I completely agree. But it did what it had to do for what it offered, and it did build some stories, and Swerve still looks very confident as always. And hey, he got the crowd into it by the end, and Arya Daivari still missed the heat. So there you go. You still have that appeal. But with that being said, this is always the time where it's freelance. This isn't wild card. This is just the simple chat. Let's go ahead and talk about some simple stances. Start by talking about the NXT match between Angel Garza and Jack Gallagher. Angel Garza, with great momentum, he won his match. Of course, using his pants to his advantage. Jack Gallagher, great return to NXT. The dude is just on a losing streak. He cannot bring it together. So my question for you, Chris, is this. What should Jack Gallagher do next? Because pretty much the between the Brian Kendrick, this match at NXT, and even the matches with Cassius Ohno in NXT UK, he can't find a way anywhere. What does Jack Gallagher need to do?
And he needs to be more efficient. He's in this situation where I feel like he's characters in limbo. People cheer him, people boo him. He's not, to me right now, when he went to this tweener role after the whole teacher student dynamic they had with Humberto and Gulak and himself, he's just been stuck in this rut of being a tweener. Let's establish him as a heel. Let's make him a badass heel. He could be like a Dragunov in NXT UK. You know, like he could be a dominant heel if they just would let him do that character. Let him be a dominant heel. He's not going to win every match, but let him have a credible showing. Let him get some big wins. That's what they need to do with him, because you can't. He's very talented, but he don't need to be putting every single person over. He needs to be winning some matches too. You don't need to have this. I'm here to put everybody over, because he is more talented than that. He's worth more to that.
Okay, that's pretty subtle. Yeah, I feel like at this point he has to do something with his character. I don't think he needs to go on an Instagram type hiatus / internal journey like Drew Gulak did. But he definitely needs something to his character. And to be fair, if now that they're involved with NXT, I feel like there's more face cruiserweights than heels. So him going heel, I think, will be a nice adjustment to that entire division. Because in my opinion, besides the women's division, that is one of NXT's strengths. Now that 205 Live is really under NXT. So I hope Regal figures out something for him. Because Jack Gallagher, you need to do something, brother. You're on a losing streak bad. And wins and losses do matter if you want to be the champion in this division. So I digress. And I'm sure Leo Rush wants the same thing. But I guess we'll see what happens. But I just wanted to talk about him real quick because I'm worried about the guy. And honestly, I don't know what he can do next.
I just had an epiphany, though. I just had thought about something. What if they did something on last season NXT and he becomes Regal's assistant? Okay, just hear me out on this before I finish it. And then he starts learning stuff from William Regal. He's getting mentored and everything like that. And then he starts picking up some of the traits that William Regal has done in his career, where he starts being more the heel and doing the heelish shit. Like he gets brass knucks, for example, or he tries to use a modified version of the Regal stretch or something along that lines. You know, he does something where he has an association with William Regal. You know, he's his assistant or whatnot. He's learning things and stuff like that, and he comes back as a more aggressive heel. That would be an interesting dynamic, because to me they're both British. They both have wrestled in that style. William Regal's got plenty of years experience with that. And since Jack Gallagher is still a young wrestler, he could learn something and take some of those things from William Regal, and they could have that variation of a teacher-student dynamic, and then he can go on from there. That was just popped up in my head when you said William Regal.
That's kind of a pretty cool idea, considering Sid Scala and Johnny State are such a dynamic duo. But I feel there's more to that than ECI as well, because I think Sid Scala is better at constructing like sentences and words with more like being a mouthpiece for Johnny State, I feel like, versus William Regal and Jack Gallagher being on more mutual sides. I mean, if Tajiri and William Regal could work out, where William Regal even had influence on Tajiri, hell, even Eugene for that matter, I feel like this would be a perfect dynamic, and with both of those men being such sophisticated gentlemen, I would actually like to see Jack Gallagher do that, because even as a heel, he never resorted underneath Gulak to brass knuckles. That's a perfect fit. And we both know William Regal still has those brass knuckles sitting on that little thing in his office. He could pass those on to Jack Gallagher and continue on Regal's legacy, because they both respect British wrestling. I like that a lot. I think that might be perfect, personally, especially because not only that, but while William Regal looks over all the operations of NXT, Jack Gallagher can look more over the NXT Cruiserweight division. Because Drake Maverick and William Regal, they aren't always there together. They probably aren't even to have all the time to talk to each other through the phone. I would like to see that, actually, because not only does that keep the influence of William Regal under NXT, but not necessarily controlling anything, but it also gives that idea of how important the Cruiserweight division is through a Cruiserweight themselves. I like that a lot. I think that's brilliant. Okay, pretty subtle. All right, so speaking of which, I'll hand over the mic over to you now. So, or platform, excuse me. What do you want to talk about tonight on Simple Stances?
Here's a good one for you. This is sure. I know we brought this up in the past. Now it could possibly. We got Finn Balor back in NXT, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, here's a two-part question for you. We all fear, like I said, I know Stephen and Jerry and Colin talked about this extensively about Finn Balor. What do you think? Do you think he could incorporate a lot of guys or the gentlemen that compete in the cruiserweight division to be part of his Balor club? Does look and fit that part of a cruiserweight wrestler. Not criticizing him, but he has the look and he has the physique and everything like that to qualify for that. Could you see him now? He's part of NXT, challenging for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship, because that could be a possibility. Because currently, right now, that's there who has all the gold. They're all draped in gold right now. The only title I can see him really challenging championship.
Well, considering that I thought first they were going to do something with Ciampa, Finn, and Adam Cole, for the NXT title, now that he's gone heel and rogue, and I don't know where he stands. Is he going to come part of the Dispute Era? Is he going to work in the Dispute Era? Is he going to carve his own legacy? Is he going to go after Lio Rush? Because Lio Rush, in a way, was kind of in the same place he was, except now it's complete opposites. And I'm sure Leo's like, why are you doing this? So, to answer your question, I would not mind seeing Lio Rush and Finn Balor have a confrontation, and not even necessarily on words. He just beat the crap out of the guy. Because again, he said his future becomes his past. He might take out anybody that is a threat to his past. Because Prince Devitt Balor, aka Bullet Club Balor, Prince Balor, whatever you want to call it, he gave 0 Fs. All right, and he obviously gave 0 Fs when he attacked Johnny Gargano. So if he versus Lio Rush could suddenly lead to an NXT Cruiserweight title match, but then also devolve and reform into Johnny Gargano versus Prince Devitt, yeah, I could totally see that happening. And somehow, some way, you incorporate now maybe a higher weight class, because Johnny Gargano, we know he's a little bit more bigger than 205, clearly. Maybe they can go at that 225 like you talked about even. Yeah, I actually would love to see that. It could expand the idea of the cruiserweight division, men without limits per se, and you're also building multiple storylines there too. So I could see Finn Balor actually going after the NXT Cruiserweight Championship in the long run, but I don't know if they would necessarily pull the trigger on that right now. Yeah, I just did a gun reference, but I like that idea. All right.
Because realistically, like I said, think about it real quick. He was, and you're right. I know Synergy, who's like said, knowledgeable about New Japan, but I was a champion and a 6-time junior tag team champion as well, under as Prince Devitt as well. So he has, and he was a former RPW cruiserweight champion as well. That I do remember. I learned about that because of Zack Xavier Jr. being the RPW heavyweight.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's definitely not out of the realm of possibility, especially now that we're seeing all 3 of these brands collide with each other. You know what really would be interesting to me, though? If somehow, some way, you get a face-off between this Finn Balor versus Jordan Devlin. And the two somehow, instead of facing off against one another, they slowly look at one another, or they attack the same person. There's a lot of interjecting lines that could happen here, and I can't wait to see what happens next. All right. So, okay, I gotta get this off my chest. Drew Gulak. They're fucking using him as PowerPoint presentation man, hyping up Braun Strowman for his match at Country Redacted, which I couldn't care less about. Fuck that show. With that being said, Drew Gulak, I do not know what's next for him. And I honestly do not want to see all 345 sides of the PowerPoint, but he's going to do this every week. When I really thought Drew Gulak was going to SmackDown, and with the unknown of Daniel Bryan, I thought he was going to go into a feud against a mat-based submission wrestler like himself to really see who could carry the future. But now more so, I just want to see them as a tag team. I would like to see a brand new dynamic created between Daniel Bryan and Drew Gulak. So I'm just going to have fun tonight and do some fantasy booking, and I want you to try and do this too. You know that some cruiserweights have now moved up to the main roster, but you also know Worlds Collide's coming up. If Worlds Collide is going to be the same way it was like that one time back at another weekend, I forget which one. If they do it World Weekend, all 5 brands colliding, if you could have a tag team showcase match between 2 men, a former cruiserweight, and somebody from any brand, what would your 2-on-2 dream tag match be? I think you froze. Okay.
Yeah, and it's not gonna be favorable. I'm gonna go sit in the big show versus the monster.
Man, this Skype is really fucking us tonight. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
You hear me?
I do. Again, it was like delayed or something. I don't know if you're just lagging or the Wi-Fi is just being stupid or what. Okay, try again. Okay.
It might not be favorable. Andrew versus Drew Gulak.
Andrews versus Gulak. Okay. I heard that bit. Daggone it, son of a bitch, friggin' piece of shit Skype. Now I'm going to hang on mode because this friggin' piece of crap isn't working right. Alright, yeah, because you're frozen right now. Okay, now it's trying to pick you up and lagging. Sorry, folks, technical difficulties. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, try again, because now it's actually picking you up.
Okay, I said I was going to do something that may not be favorable. I would do the Big Show and Cedric Alexander versus the Monster Among Men and Drew Gulak.
What? David versus Goliath versus David versus Goliath?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Now, how would that play out with Cedric Alexander and the Big Show? Now, truth be told, Big Show put over Braun Strowman, but that's a man of similar size. But Cedric Alexander and Drew Gulak, well, that's no stranger alliance right there. But, wow, who would you want to go over in this match?
Come on. At that point, I think I would make them the heels because of the fact that I think Drew Gulak, you know how, like I said, he was doing that teacher-student dynamic at 205. But see, this would have to be after the fucking event we won't name, Blood Money, whatever the fuck. What would happen would be if Strowman loses that match and well, Spider-Man videos, check out Spider-Man and did it for me. But it would be he would lose Tyson Fury, and then Gulak, would be like, look, I told you I'm trying to tell you PowerPoint presentation, you need to come under my guidance with your strength and my intelligence and my submission skills. We can make this incredible tag team, and Strowman goes along with it. He do something along with it and goes under tutelage of Gulak. You have submission specialist, the Matt and the powerhouse with the Monster Among Men, and then you do a storyline where then if you're doing like Survivor Series, they're doing some kind of showcase, and Cedric Alexander's like, okay, I want to go after this. I want to go after Gulak, and somehow they have some kind of interaction. They set up a match. He goes, you don't have anybody that's strong enough to compete with my monster, and Kenny. Strowman had history. The last time you really saw Big Show in the ring, Strowman. That feud, I'm sorry, because he did come back with the bar. The last time he had a major program was big, so I think she would have a little bit of reason and get a story. History with Google, it's an interesting match. And like I said, I actually like to see Monster Among Men that they get very and they actually be able to help from in the long run just be a heel. Because then you have that, Rainbow and Ron kind of style tag team, Gulak and each to be more relevant to me than it could even because you really ever get from those good.
Okay, I got.
Just all team.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I got most of that. It would be a very interesting dynamic considering, yeah, last time Big Show was on friggin' TV, he was with the Bar, and that over it was like his 45th heel face turn. So yeah, there's that. Okay, well, before Skype decides to say not responding and breaks up, I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up here with our next match on our top 25 list of cruiserweight matches. Block my mouth! Cruiserweight matches that we freaking recommend watching from the 205 Live brand. That I cannot speak tonight. So, okay, well, it's frozen here. Let's see if this works. So, Chris, I believe we're on number 13 now. So, what is your number 13 on your top 25 matches of the 205 Live brand?
Rich Swann versus January 10th.
Okay, Rich Swann versus. Skype, fuck you. Come on, get back together. I can't hear him now. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe Skype has officially broken. So, Chris, I cannot hear you at all. I think we're about done here, unfortunately. Try again. I'm gonna have technical difficulty music playing throughout all this. I'm not cutting any of this shit out. Try. Yeah, because you're frozen on my end. What? Here's a Soul Man's Wrestling News Flash. Due to the reason that Skype was being a piece of crap, I am now taking over the remainder of this show because the holiday Chris made Skype decided to go apeshit on us. So let me tell you about his match. The match he picked for number 13 was Rich Swann versus Tony Nese, January 10th, 2017. A classic match in my opinion. I'm keeping it simple. I'm just going to say it was Cedric Alexander's send-off match for me. And my next match is Cedric Alexander versus Oney Lorcan, where he endorsed Oney Lorcan being the future of 205 Live, while Cedric Alexander was off to greener pastures you would hope of Monday Night Raw, which has basically done nothing but buried him because Vince has a fetish against short people and believes they are no good. I hope you enjoy this edition of 205 Matters. Like, share, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. Please support NoDQ, support my YouTube channel, support your wrestling outlets big and small. Let's keep growing this wrestling community together. Simple as that. And until the next video, hopefully where Skype is more user friendly. Thank you all. Have a wonderful day. This is the Simple Man signing off. Lord, I got